Hey gamers, today we have another old D&D module to review. This one's from 1981, what I like to think of as the golden age of D&D. Now remember that these old modules are easily converted to 5e rules. Basically all you need to do is update the date on the monsters. It's that easy. Adjusting armor class and a few other things is all it takes and they're ready to go. Since these are old adventures, the monsters have been around for a long time, so everyone's familiar with them, and they can be found in the monster manual or on any convenient website that you like. I think the name of the adventure tells you a little about what will be in this module, right? Seeing Bone Hill. It definitely sounds like skeletons, and perhaps some other undead will be encountered too. Skeletons are some of the oldest monsters in D&D, and at low levels, some of the common undead encountered. Some undead are very tough, but skeletons are always good for low-level adventurers. Now, Bone Hill is actually just one of several hills in an adventure area that can be explored in this module. Bone Hill has some more bad guys and is where most of the action will take place, but each hill has its own inhabitants to encounter. This adventure takes place in a fishing village, but any village would do. Doesn't have to be connected to the water or anything else in particular. Before the adventurers set out, they can find out some nice rumors in town. I've noticed that rumors are a common item in these old adventures. This town is certainly a rumor mill because it has the largest random rumor table I've ever seen. Percentile dice are needed just to pick one off the large random table, so there are quite a few of them. So the fishing village of Restonford has everything from a castle to all of the common buildings and businesses you would find in a D&D setting. I never understood why extensive detail was often given in these old modules about non-adventure areas. There is almost as much information about the town and the people in it as there is about the exploration area itself. The author gives us a description of every room and every person in the area. The name and all stats for every person in town is given. Never understood the reason for having all of this information when it has nothing to do with the game. If it did, that'd be something different. If you had to encounter certain non-player characters and get certain information and so on. I like just make it up as I go along when I'm DMing. To me, it's easier to remember that way, and then I'll just make notes where I need. The only area of interest in the town will probably never be found. In an old burnt down guard station, there's a secret door in the floor of one of the rooms. The adventurers have no reason to explore it, but if they happen to find the secret door in one room, it leads down to a complex of caverns below. Not much is down there but some skeletons and some rats, so not too much to see anyway. Now on to the good stuff. The adventure area outside of Restonford is a wild area with random encounters, of course, and a dotting of hills and forest. The random encounters contain mostly animals. You can see like a giant constrictor snake right here, but bandits and other folk may be encountered too. Each one of these areas has its own list of bad guys, and one of them, Bone Hill, contains the primary adventure area. So as you see right here, you got different little regions. Each one of these little hills right here in these areas is basically a different little adventure in itself. There's different things to encounter in each one, and there's even random tables and such for them if you want. So after spending all the time in town they want, the adventurers can get to business. One area is called Dwemer Forest. The only inhabitants of interest are a group of clerics. As long as the adventurers aren't killing the animals in the area or being hostile to the clerics, they're mostly cooperative and friendly, and you can see them right here in this picture. The clerics are fond of gambling and invite the visiting party to roll dice with them. The clerics will also provide helpful spells for a price if the party is willing to pay. Now there's another hill called Bald Hill in our area. They're a group of bandit orcs led by a half-orc in this area. They like to set up an ambush near a bridge, but can also be found in their cave or a few other areas. It's all random as to where they're found, so if you want, just pick the one you like. Next is an area of nearby hills, and in them are other adventurers who can be hired into the party. If they want some backup, that is the members of the group, and have the gold to pay, these non-player characters can be bought, rented, however you want to think of it. Non-player characters are of different classes, so they might be able to find just what they're needing. The next little hilly region contains a group of gnolls and their pet wolves. You can see them illustrated right up here at the top. They're both hungry for food and wealth, so they won't hesitate to attack anyone they see in their area. And lastly, there's Bone Hill. Here's where most all the adventure is going to take place. Everything up to this point has really just been additional stuff, so don't spend too much time on it. Now Bone Hill has its own unique set of inhabitants. There is a very unusual, nice symbiotic relationship between some bugbears and the undead living in these old castle ruins. The bugbears roam the place by day and the undead by night. There are random encounters for this area. They include anything from giant animals to the undead. The primary adventure on Bone Hill will take place in the ruins of this castle. As the party members approach, there is a chance that a guard in the castle will spot them, and this could occur day or night. Observing the area of the castle by day will show that a battle took place here many years ago. Parts of the outer wall are damaged and some areas are burned. There's a large dark circle where a fireball spell can be seen to have gone off. The ruined castle contains a tower, 2 collapsed exterior walls, a siege tower, courtyard, and several rooms inside. The ground level contains bugbears and undead. Mostly just depends on the time of day as to which one you'll find more of. There are even a smaller second and third level to the castle area. A wizard's workshop can be found on the second floor, and it does have some usable potions lying about. The third floor, basically a rooftop, is an observatory. The basement area has about 8 or so rooms, and it's inhabited by ghouls and a ghast. Undead seem to be the most common monster in most of these low-level adventures. Next comes a dungeon level. This level has some interesting additions. Now there's a table here for random noises. You don't see that often. Down below, the adventurers will find things like a gray ooze, a stone guardian, which was introduced in this module, a mirror of opposition, a gelatinous cube, those are always fun, skeletons, zombies, a wraith, and a spectator. I believe the spectator was first introduced in this module also, so that's a big favorite there. It gives the thrill of the beholder, but without so much death. I like to see monsters added. Not knowing what you're going up against makes the game better. Overall, this is a short adventure which can be ran in just a few sessions. I like these because people often do get bored with long campaigns that take many months. I think it's best to finish a dungeon quickly and get on to something new. As always, you can find these modules at Drive-Thru RPG, right? There's your Stone Guardian there, and there's your Spectator there. I like the pictures of the Spectator. They've changed quite a bit. But again, you can find these always at Drive-Thru RPG in DM's Guild. Remember, they're always cheap, easy to convert to 5e rules, whatever you want. They're very affordable too. So enjoy and let me know how your game session went. Good luck and good gaming.